Like Texas high school football? You've come to the right place. Like elite Texas high school football? Well, it doesn't get any better than Denton County. Here at the Denko Gridiron Show podcast, we talk about your town and your team and cover Denton County schools the way they deserve to be covered. Whether you're a Wildcat, Raider, Falcon, or Eagle, a Marauder, Jaguar, Warrior, Bronco, or Bengal, we're here to discuss your team and have a lot of fun doing it along the way. With live guests and fun giveaways, you can catch the show live each week on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. on Facebook Live. Everyone, John Piper, one half of the Denko Gridiron Show, joined as always with award-winning sports writer, Mr. Adam Boedeker. We are broadcasting live from just adjacent to the town square in Denton, Texas. As always, share out the stream, post your comments, questions. We'll try to answer them live on the air. And let us know where you're coming in from. If you're traveling or if you're catching the show from outside the state of Texas, we always like to know where you're connecting to the Denko Gridiron Show from.
I would like to say we are adjacent to the square, and our guest coming up walked in and said that we're cheap and that we should be on the square.
Oh, so we're already getting shots. And
I know.
And he also said we should have a green room.
He did say that too.
Multiple.
We have a green hallway.
We have some waters here, but he said he'd like to have an espresso machine and a couple other things. But speaking of guests, we do have head coach Michael Young going to be joining us here in just a few minutes to talk a little Lake Dallas football. So you want to stay tuned to that. And again, share that out with the Lake Dallas community. Hey, I do want to give a shout out my lovely wife, who does watch the show, by the way. It's our 26-year anniversary. So, Shannon, if you're on here, love you. Thanks for tuning in. She always critiques me, too, Boedeker. After the show, she said, you should have said this. You should have said that.
I just would like to give her props for somehow making it 26 years with you. So
yeah.
Congratulations, Shannon.
She gets an award for that. That's true. Boedeker's known me for about a year and a half now. So
I can't imagine knowing you for 26 years.
Yeah, that'd be tough, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right. Hey, what's been going on with you this week? I know you're busy all the time.
Oh, busy all the time. Yeah, just football. Watched a lot of college football, a lot of NFL football. The NFL football weekend was pretty bad. It's just seems like no one plays in the preseason anymore, and the first week games are usually.
Yeah, I was going to comment. I was going to text you. The Cowboy game alone should justify more play in the preseason, but then I heard Troy Aikman come on with our buddy George Dunham in the Little Ticket saying, hey, even if they had multiple games in the preseason, he probably wouldn't have played any more, but I think they should get more reps. Maybe that's something we could ask Coach Young about when he comes on. They just don't get the reps. Like when Jimmy Johnson was running the team, well, he worked them hard in preseason. I know injuries are a concern, but they just didn't look like they were ready for primetime for sure.
Yeah, I hate to go behind the scenes here, but you might want to put a lid on that water bottle because it is about to fall over. It keeps shaking.
Water bottle.
Yeah.
Hey, Paradise General Contracting did put our set together, man. We've gotten a lot of comments on that as well.
And nice.
First week, we almost knocked it over.
Yeah.
It's designed to be portable, so we could take this, to AT&T Stadium sometime maybe. Hey. Be out in the parking lot. They won't let us in, but we could be out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Hey, speaking of football, second time in my illustrious fantasy football career, I'm doing a fantasy football team this year.
Okay.
I go to bed at halftime of the Green Bay-Chicago game, and my opponent, his quarterback was Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And at halftime, I was leading my fantasy deal. Good. Oh, yeah. And if you'd bet on Chicago, you already counting your chips.
Yeah.
I wake up the next day and realized Aaron Rodgers came back and won the game.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it was a
awesome.
wild one. Yeah. I won in my league by 1 point thanks to an 8-yard pass with 3 minutes left by Jared Goff. Won by 1 point.
Hey, we do. You can't see him off camera, but Kyle Rogers is with us tonight. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing well, thank you.
And Kyle is helping us technically produce. Boedeker told me, he said, hey, Piper, you've made a couple of technical errors. He threw the flag, not the red challenge flag yet, but he was getting close to that. So
yeah,
we brought Kyle up to help us a little bit. So if you guys can hear audio good, video's good, posting comments, let us know. We think it's good tonight. And the issue before was me hitting the wrong button at the wrong time. So good stuff. Told you all about Poteet. Stephen Dell's chiming in about Poteet last week.
Was he the guy that was? Okay. Well, I guess they won last week against somebody other than Ryan. So congratulations.
Hey, we do want to talk some exciting news, Boedeker. I popped down to Verf just last night and had an iced tea and ran into we call him Verf, Jim, the owner and namesake of Verf's.
Yeah,
was in there along with Ryan, the general manager, and we can go ahead and announce Saturday, September 29th. We're going to be back at Verf's.
Shoal Creek.
Well, actually, no, first is Verf's, September 29th. Did you tell our guests to go to Shoal Creek?
That's not what you told me.
Oh yeah, all right. We'll get it straight, but we're
gonna, one of the places.
We're going to have
they're close together.
A live remote at Verf's or Shoal Creek on Saturday, September 29th, and on the 29th we are going to have Coach John Walsh.
We are,
and Greg Tepper, editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
And TV Zone, Greg Tepper from Fox Sports Southwest.
He joined us last year, and a lot of fun. So it's amazing a guy like that would come back for some more punishment.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I've done him some favors, co-hosting his show a couple of times when he was out. So he owes me at least one more time. After this, then it's all up to you. But I think he owes me this one. That's
good. And it's a great place to eat. We're going to have brunch down there. Schedule to start at 10 a.m. We'll go to 11:30, probably trickle over a little bit, but we'll do that on the 29th of September as well as November 3rd. So
no matter which place it's at, which I still say that it's Shoal Creek, but we'll sort that out later. But no matter which place it's at, they both have awesome brunch, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, we'll post an update,
and they're literally a mile apart from each other. So
yeah,
I don't think it'll be an issue. But pretty sure you did tell me Shoal Creek, so. There's another flag for you.
Boedeker, I was going through our page, and it's amazing just in the year and a half or so we've been doing this. There's a lot of content out there. You probably never do that. I just had to do it today to look at some things we did last year. And it's amazing, all the stuff that this little show, the Texas High School Football, we've been a part of. It's been fun, man. It's been fun. Here we roll into episode 24 overall tonight. So
23 with me, I think. Yeah. There was the one time
Newspaper Steve helped us guest host one time, so that was awesome. All right. Stephen Dell says I enjoy giving y'all a hard time. Well, we appreciate it.
I enjoy giving them a hard time back, so it's all good.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into some game recaps, and we'll get on with the show. Boedeker, Ryan, and Fossil Ridge. Man, that was an exciting one.
Yeah.
Went to overtime.
Hey, you know what? I told everybody on the show last week that I think Ryan was a 25-point favorite in that game, and nothing against Ryan. Obviously, they won the game, but I did not think that was going to play out because Fossil Ridge is a pretty good 6A team. Ryan's obviously an upper echelon 5A team, but Fossil Ridge is no joke, and they showed it. I mean, from all accounts, I wasn't at the game, but it sure sounded like they had the game won, and the only thing they didn't do right was take care of the ball, which will obviously get you beat, and it did because guy we'll talk about later, Billy Bowman Jr. had 3 interceptions in that game, including 2 pick sixes. So 2 of Ryan's
pretty amazing
4
effort
touchdowns,
right
I think, were pick sixes by Billy Bowman. And then he also had a 3rd interception in overtime to seal the game. So it was a huge game on his
big
part.
Time. We talked about him a lot last year, too.
And they had a safety.
So he's stepping up again this year
was
for Denton Ryan.
Incredible in that game.
Good stuff.
They only scored 1 offensive touchdown.
In inclement weather, we'll talk when Coach Young comes on. He had the best venue in town at the Star in Frisco,
true.
But everybody else had a rough go with the weather. Man.
Yeah,
terrible weather.
Pretty awful. I was at the Cotton Bowl, and I was supposed to cover a game at 5:00, and then I was just going to stick around and watch the Guys Cedar Hill game, which was supposed to start at 8:30, and that 5:00 kick didn't happen until 8, and luckily it ended up getting canceled like 10 minutes into the game because of another lightning delay. And then they just said, forget it, we're going home. And Guy in Cedar Hill kicked off at about 9:45. So I left at the end of the 3rd quarter. I was not going to stay out there for 9 hours.
I was 30 minutes from the Cotton Bowl, and it was pouring the rain. And the last news update I got from you, as a matter of fact, was looked like Guy may not even play till 11 or 11:30.
Yeah, that was before the first game got canceled.
And I wasn't feeling great, so I retreated and headed north. And about that time, they said, hey, Geyer. They kicked off about 9:45, I think.
But let's get into the Lake Dallas game.
Yeah, Lake Dallas, Frisco Centennial, another great one. Boy, I was talking to Coach Young and Ryan Deppersmith over the weekend about that game, and they were in pretty well control in the first half, and then Frisco Centennial scores 2 touchdowns within like 3 minutes of the first half, and really made it a game the whole way out.
Yeah, they played a classic last year, and this time around it was another tight game, not quite like last year's, but 40-34 Lake Dallas. Again, another huge game for Ryan Deppersmith, who, we've said it all season. I mean, he has to be the best, most experienced returning quarterback in this area. He's having a phenomenal senior year so far. I mean, it's still early, but he had 251 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and ran for 70. So he does it all for them, and he really drives that engine. So, it was another big win. Lake Dallas is 2-0. They're cruising. They got a big game this weekend, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, head coach Michael Young will be joining us live here in just a few minutes. So make sure you get your popcorn ready, sit back, share out the broadcast, and post your questions and comments for Lake Dallas's own Michael Young. Next up, Boedeker, Marcus gets a win 41-28 over McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, this was one that Marcus really needed to get, because I was at the first game against Arlington Bowie, and they looked like they were just outclassed in every way by Bowie. I was a little blown away by how easily Bowie won that game and how much in control they were. So I was anxious to see how Marcus would respond, and they did. Boyd's a team they should beat, and they should have beaten them. But
a lot of points. Their offense got moving good. 41 points is a big output for your Marcus.
And looking at, I wasn't at the game, but looking at the box score, I'm not really sure how that happened. They had to have been playing with a lot of short fields. And that makes sense, because I'm seeing now that McKinney Boyd had 6 turnovers in that game. So that would explain why Marcus's stats weren't all that great offensively, but they put up 41 points. They need to get that win. Again, like I said, it's a team they should have beaten. And, that doesn't always happen, though, when you're playing a team you should beat. You don't always win, and good teams do that. I still think Marcus will be okay and make the playoffs, and it was nice to see them bounce back after that disappointing first game.
Hey, next up, Geyer, game you were talking about. I was scheduled to head down there with the weather delay, changed my plans. Geyer, the Cotton Bowl Prep Classic. At the beginning of the season, we had this circled. We were going to do a little tailgate party down there for the fans. And, boy, weather was awful.
Sure was.
Geyer ends up losing that one 28-0.
Yeah. We talked last week after the Alito game that that was the second time Geyer's ever been shut out in program history, and the first time was year 1. And that was the third time. They've now gone 2 games this year without scoring a touchdown, or a field goal, any points, which is insane. I never thought I would see the day where a John Walsh offense would go 2 games without any points. But I said it last week, and I'll say it again. People that are worrying about this team, you have some reason to maybe worry a little bit if you're a fan, but I wouldn't freak out, because this team, the defense looked fantastic the other night against Cedar Hill, and they're super athletic, good offense, and scored 57 points against John Tyler the week before that. And Geyer, it was the second. There was a lot of factors involved in that game. The rain, it was just really nasty.
Cadrick Cobbs will be back this week.
No, he'll be back for district the following week. But yeah, Geyer was still without Cadrick Cobbs, who's probably their best player. The Geyer's without their 2 best defensive players. One of them's out for the year, but the other, a linebacker, will be back for district also. Basically, they're going to be getting about 3 or 4 really good players back when district play starts. So, it's been tough sledding so far, but again, if you're a Geyer fan, I wouldn't worry too much. It's just been kind of shocking to see. I mean, Geyer's made a name on its offense, and they haven't scored yet. It's pretty crazy.
Young sophomore quarterback Eli Stowers.
He's looked pretty good too.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well.
He's throwing the ball well. He can run.
Time and experience. That's what he needs. So.
Some freak things that have happened and some injuries. It's made it. And they've had in both games, Alito and